is it a good time to buy an investment property? When I'm meeting people, they have two questions. Number one is it good time to buy an investment property, or if the market is going to go a little more down? And number two, what is the right place to buy an investment property? In this video, I'm going to cover one of the question, which is it good time to buy an investment property? So if you want to learn more on the timing in the market, stay tuned. To understand and to answer that question, we must understand the property market first. When we hear the new headlines in the newspaper saying the property market is going down, the headlines is just an average nationally consolidating all the data across the property markets in Australia. There is not one property market in Australia. There are multiple property markets. There is a market inside a market in Australia. So if you're saying property markets like Sydney and Melbourne, Wellcruise, Point Piper, if they are going down in the current market, I can tell you at least 20 suburbs in Australia where the property market price has gone. So whether you should invest in property market or not is not dependent on the headlines of the newspaper. It is not dependent whether the property market is going up or down, because you'll always find good capital growth suburbs in Australia where you can invest at the right time. The only thing you need to answer yourself before you invest in property market and to answer whether you should invest in property market right now or not is whether you can afford that investment safely. Would you still sleep peacefully if you make an investment in the property market? Are you investing for the short term or are you investing for the long term? There are different strategies and tactics for short-term investments and for the long-term investments. This is so crucial to understand that it is not the outside world which decides whether you should invest in the property market or not. It is your personal situation which has to decide whether you should invest in property market or not. If you go to the bank and bank agrees to lend you the money and you do not foresee any substantial expenses coming in the near future which the investment can jeopardize, then that means you can afford that property. That means you need only three things then. Number one is the market. That is which city, which suburb you need to invest in. You have to understand the property clock. You have to understand when the property market goes up in some part of Australia, the property market goes down in other parts of Australia and vice versa. For example, the capital city prices are going down at the moment. However, there are suburbs across Australia, in Queensland, in South Australia, in Western Australia, in Victoria, which are at the recovery phase in the property clock, which are going to appreciate as the time goes. When more and more people will migrate to Australia, when the immigration will open, the property price is gonna go up. At the moment, we have more than 250,000 houses under supply in Australia, which is forecasted to be 660,000 houses under supply by 2031. We are not like US, in which a lot of cities have oversupply. In Australia, we have undersupply, and Australia is one of the best economies in the world. People can afford the houses, so affordability is there, undersupply is there. The fundamentals of real estate property market is still strong. This does not mean that the property market is not going to go down tomorrow, a day after, 6 months, 1 year. Property market will swing. It's a property clock. But one thing which is guaranteed is property market prices will go up in the long term. If I ask you one question, Would you be happy if you would have bought this house 20 years ago? The answer is yes, because you would have made a lot of money in those 20 years. And if you think what happened in those last 20 years, GFC, recession, negative gearing introduced and then replaced, terrorist attacks, war between Russia and Ukraine, COVID, and the list goes on. But still, in those 20 years, I have not seen a single house whose market value has gone down in those 20 years. However, not all houses had same capital growth. Not all suburbs had same capital growth. That is the reason it is very, very important. First, you should have affordability, and second, you select the right asset. Do not rush into buying an investment property even if you have affordability, because a wrong move can jeopardize all your investments. Make sure you educate yourself or you take help from professional to buy an investment property. Do not buy properties just because your friend has suggested a property in the neighborhood. You have to select the right asset. You have to do the number crunching to make sure that there are enough evidence saying that this house is going to have a good capital growth and this house is not going to put you in financial distress. You need to remember three things when you are selecting a property. First is the city. Which city is sitting where in the property clock? As I mentioned, when you say the property market is going down, it does not mean that it's going down everywhere in Australia. There are numbers of investors waiting for this time. When the news headlines is saying property market is going down, people have backed off. Like the normal investors, they have backed off, and the smart investors who understand this, they get good discounts from the vendors. The second is you need to identify area in that suburb, and we can go into the details in future videos, but the city, the area in that suburb, and the asset, these are the three most important things at a high level which influence the growth in the asset. Now, did I answer your question whether it is the right time to invest in property or not? The answer is, it is not the outside world which decides whether it is the right time to invest in property or not. It is your situation which dictates whether it is a good time to invest in property or not. On the risk matrix, the property investments sits on low risk and high return. And that is why a lot of people, a lot of millionaires made their first million through the real estate investments. If you want to know the best performing suburb in Australia every month, subscribe to this channel, and using all the tools and data I have at my disposal, I'm going to share one suburb every month as my personal mission to help people buying a good investment grade property.